2. The next morning, Kat, propped up on pillows, watched Scott as he dressed for the office. His movements seemed easier, calmer. Last night's emotion had been a kind of catharsis for him. In the dresser mirror, his eyes met hers. "Did you sleep?" he asked. "A bit. Did you?" she asked as he turned from the mirror. "Yes, some." She picked up the newspaper, glanced at the headlines, put it back on the bed. He had brought it in to her, along with a cup of coffee. He came to sit on the edge of the bed and took hold of her hand. "You see the therapist today?" "Yes, this afternoon." He was really asking, she knew, whether she planned to go out at all. He worried about the inertia that held her in the house. She had not been back to work since their son's death, had no idea when she would return. "I'll be home as early as I can," he said, "but there's a lot going on." Kat nodded. She listened as he left the house, tracking his footsteps on the stairs, before she moved from the bed to the window to watch him walk to his car. A slam of the car door, the sudden loud life of the engine, and then he was driving away. She waited until the sound faded as he turned the corner and was gone. 10 hours until he returned. Maybe 12. Distracted by the whine of a garage door, Kat looked across the street to see Brooke leaving for work in her red Miata convertible. Her neighbor's blonde hair was tied back with a glowing gold headscarf, and she wore large wraparound shades, though the early morning light was still dim. Brooke glanced toward the house, must have spotted the shadow of Kat behind the blinds because she waved, then touched her fingers to her lips to blow a kiss before gunning the car engine, heading off into her busy day. Kat, aware that Brooke could not see her clearly, waved to her friend anyway. In the kitchen, Kat stood at the window looking at the garden, neglected these past weeks, thinking about what Scott had said 2 nights ago. "It's incredible," he said, "how a small thing can so change a life that nothing will ever be the same again." Like a truck blowing a tire on the coast highway. Christ, yes, that of course. But things that seem insignificant at the time. You know, an ad for a job, an introduction to someone, little things. "A strange English girl looking at you," she had asked, wondering if he was regretting everything in his life. If he had not met her, he would not be grieving like this. They had been lying in bed, and he had turned to look at her. A drive around the city, and a whole chain of events follows. Who would have guessed? A little thing like that. Oh, I would have guessed. But Scott was right. A drive with an attractive UCLA student so many years ago had changed every aspect of her life. Her job, her friends, even her country. She had been happy enough with her London life until the Los Angeles assignment. Her editor gave her 6 weeks to write about a new band of young filmmakers in Los Angeles, a plum job causing some resentment in her office. She had loved LA at once. The sun, the mountains, the palm trees, the energy, and the glitter. She was amused by the enthusiasm and arrogance of the creative young people she met, who believed with their very souls that this was where it was happening, this was the place. She met Scott 2 weeks into the assignment at a party held by a group of USC film students. She noticed him at once, a tall young man, hair rather long, dark blue eyes, a wide, warm smile. He studied Kat. "So, Miss Britt," he said, "what have you seen so far?" "I've seen Sunset Strip, Beverly Hills, Santa Monica, Malibu," she told him. "Just about everything." He laughed out loud. "Everything? No kidding. Hey, come see a different LA." She thought he was an actor. He was as good-looking as the other young men around and was dressed the same way. Blue jeans, t-shirt, hair falling into his eyes. What amazed her was that he noticed her among all those sparkling starlets with their gazelle legs and pouting mouths. The next evening, he drove her to Old Pasadena, then on to the San Fernando Valley, through the town of San Fernando with its Spanish buildings and charming town center, and to Pacoima with its early flickers of menace and youth gangs. Back on the freeway, he took her through the streets of downtown Los Angeles, right by the Midnight Mission and the alleys that housed humanity's lost and rejected. Then to a hillside just north of Malibu where they sat silently watching the ocean.